Resilient teams win. The strongest teams aren't the ones that never fail. They're the ones that rise together. Welcome to the Daily Spark. I'm Chad Ricardo. As we wrap up this week's focus on resilience, we're turning our attention to something critical, your team. Because resilient leadership isn't just about personal mindset, it's about building a culture where people grow stronger together. Resilient teams aren't built by chance. They're the product of intentional leadership. Leaders who create safety, foster communication, and align people around a shared mission and vision. There's a widely shared story about the early days of Pixar. Before it became a creative powerhouse, the company was wrestling with tension between technical engineers and creative storytellers. Projects stalled, feedback turned combative, and the future started looking uncertain. That's when leadership stepped in, not with mandates, but with culture building. They introduced a system called the Brain Trust, a regular feedback meeting where the only rule was honesty without judgment. No titles, no consequences, just people working towards the same goal. It changed everything. The tension didn't disappear, but the fear did. Engineers began to understand creative priorities. Artists learned how to translate vision into process. Mistakes were called out early. Ideas were improved collaboratively. And from that culture came some of the most successful animated films in history. What made the Pixar model work was simple but powerful: safety, communication, and care. The team was allowed to fail, but they weren't allowed to hide. They had to bring their whole selves. When they did, resilience became part of their DNA. Every great team, whether in business, healthcare, education, or tech, relies on the same foundation. People need to know they're valued, that they can speak up, that mistakes are learning opportunities, not landmines. When you build that kind of environment, performance rises naturally. The truth is, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing back together, and the leader sets the tone. Here's a reflection prompt. What's one small action you can take today to build trust and openness on your team? And for your daily spark, resilient leaders build resilient cultures. And those teams don't just survive, they win. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Spark. Resilience is more than personal grit. It's about creating an environment where others can thrive. Lead with clarity, listen with intention, and keep building a culture that stands strong under pressure. I'll see you next week for another spark to light your path forward.